Good afternoon, everybody. We're going to talk about some facts versus some major fictions. Things I am not about, not in the least. We're going to get that discussed today. A big one is the Magna Carta narrative. We're going to break that down in absolute history and law today. Best video you're ever going to get on it. Now, I've reached out to judges right here in Canada who will have nothing to do with me anyway, to assist them in this narrative. They've chosen not to take that. I don't suppose they would, because absolutely, of the real Article 61 in the Canadian Constitution. We're not going to get into all that today. We're going to get into Magna Carta and the absolute fraud lie from a number of groups, but one in particular with a pretty good following. I see a lot of people are on that. I was tagged in it minutes ago. I've had enough messages now as people try to climb on board with what I'm doing. I can promise you this, there's absolutely not one lawyer involved in any of those groups. Not a one. Doesn't matter where you go in the world, you're never going to get it. I've studied constitutionalism, in part because of this, but also to see what we can do with Canada, the provinces, and independence as another way forward. And I've absolutely found that by going out to absolutely the world's greatest constitutional experts in law, world-renowned, massive reading and writing that I have had to go through, many of the best worldwide. And I can tell you all this. Magna Carta was in the middle of the 1150s, put forward for a time of Great Britain, the UK, okay? Before it made it to the 5 nations it is today. Magna Carta is an old constitution. The original, yes, the original constitution leading to a lot of common law and many rights and freedoms for people we see throughout democracies today. But understand this, that is a constitution that no longer exists anymore. There's many versions of it, changes throughout the years, decades, and on through many nations. All nations have their own constitution. You'll find bits and pieces of Magna Carta, Roman, and all kinds of other narratives throughout many democracies, and even some of the Greek stuff from democracies. You will absolutely find many versions of many original texts of new ideas in democratic institutions and republics. Do not ever put any stock into Magna Carta. That was a specific constitution for a time and place in history with the United Kingdom. Have bits and pieces of it survived? Sure. Canada has 2 1/3 part of its entirety constitution. Many parts of the constitution, and only 3 survived. Arrest and a few others in a new terminology. If you want to find the bulk of one document on this earth today, binding internationally, that has the most of Magna Carta in it, you have to go to the Declaration of Human Rights 1948, the UN Convention of Declaration of Human Rights 1948. That's the most you're going to find, and the only thing you can absolutely use in international law. There's the expansion of Geneva, Vienna, that goes on, way past Magna Carta. Magna Carta, again, is a specific constitution for a specific nation in a history a long time ago. Chopped, changed, rewrote, changed. New nations adopt. Every nation makes a constitution. Some elements of Magna Carta are there, but you absolutely don't revert. It's like me saying, oh, but the Constitution of Mexico says this. What the heck does that have to do with the nation you live in under the Constitution you have right now? If you want to look at more into that, you have to go into what's absolute international law today, meaning world constitutionalism bound by the 5 permanent nations post-World War II. That's all there is. That's the absolute authority. Take UK and Magna Carta and throw it away. because the absolute crown did. Any elements of that, King George VI absolutely threw away in favor of absolutely the United Nations and all of the binding laws related to that. There are a number of them. I suggest people go read those and abandon the craziness of a constitution of a nation literally more than 800 years ago. That's like me saying, oh, but in Egypt, in ancient Egypt, who gives a crap about ancient Egypt? You're in the country of Canada, whether you like it or not. This is imposed on you, whether you like it or not. You want to end colonialism? Do it the right way. That's what the Canadian Constitutionalist Party brings to the table. Absolute worldwide experts in constitutionalism. Real work with real academics, legal professionals, lawyers, the greatest of the great, who actually train the judges of today. Many of the highest judges all over the world, UK, even in our UN, absolutely were trained by several of these academics, or at the very least read most of these people's works. That's reality. If you don't have a law degree, or you haven't been around enough of the world's best, or at least read in all of these different concepts and scopes, I don't know what to tell you. You should go to law school and actually figure out how it really works. And too many lie. They come up with narratives that are absolutely false. There is a system in place in this world. You'll either learn it or you won't. You choose not to, you and your nation suffer. The abuse continues. I could see very likely that a lot of these groups absolutely originate from Great Britain to absolutely screw Canada over and its citizens to go with a crazy narrative that, guess what, leads you to fall flat on your face. I know all about it. It exists in NDP for unions and labor. It exists in Black Lives Matter whenever anyone tries to bring up civil rights all over the world. These foreign interests and narratives are there to make you fall on your face. You want to get through it, either start reading, start learning how to comprehend, or absolutely reach out to the world's best of the best. Start reading books, not books you pick, 3 or 4 off a shelf, but absolutely thousands, literally thousands of articles, hundreds of books. And that's by the world's the top ranking constitutional experts. Start looking at international judges, where they got their education. Start reaching out to those universities and start applying yourself. I did that. I'm probably the only Canadian, probably in history without a law degree, to actually do that and hold my own somewhat. I do require a lot from a lot of these people, and I've been very, very fortunate. A lot of people have been very kind to me throughout this entire year, a little bit more coming on. But that's the truth. And you know what, people, I'm sorry, but the more we step out looking like absolute idiots, pulling out one constitution from one part of time and running on it like absolute law, you look like an idiot. That's reality. There are literally thousands and thousands of constitutions that have been written, dismembered, redesigned, and goes on for well over 1,000 years. More than that. All the way back to Greece. And yes, some of these things have been brought forward. But in Canada, Magna Carta, 3 elements of it. And it's not even worded the same. There's been changes, upgrades. That's all that exists left in Canada. And your country has full authority to administer this Constitution upon you. It's what they deemed absolute post-World War II, and King George signed it off. You can hate it, you can be angry, but it's time to get on the real narrative. Real constitutionalism, not a fake constitutionalist group or people with radical ideas that don't even know how the world works, have never even read more than a book or 2. And we're talking limited, like this. Try hundreds of volumes. That's what I've spent a year doing. And you know how you win these great academics? You read their articles, you read their work, and then you respond to them in an email. Then they know you're not some dillweed dummy who just came out and is promoting some kind of fanaticism. They stop and say, hey, wait a minute. This guy actually reads things. He actually pays attention, and he puts in the time. Am I a great genius or academic? No. But I put in the tremendous work and time, and that's what I've done. And it won't matter anyway, because I'll be bringing forward the best of the best. But please, people, don't tag me in other groups or other radical ideas. I'm not there to take people on. You can share my videos out. You want to share it to the group? Let them go, whatever. I've heard from these kind of radicals over and over again. It's just like the ones that try to ruin independence, or just like the ones that try to ruin the federal narrative in Canada, or just like the ones that absolutely ruin every provincial narrative that goes outside the grain. Foreign interest, foreign billionaires, the multinationals, the globalists, is it sometimes socialists, radical dictators? Guess what? Newsflash. All the ones everybody's always PMing me, if it's not them, you can replace them. It'll be 8 more the next day. There's thousands of corrupt billionaires out there, as well as there's thousands of great ones too. Unfortunately, it takes a few bad apples to come along. The Epsteins. I'm not going to continue into all the others because I don't know, and I don't really want to look into the work on it. I know the existence of it. I understand the influences. But the problem is you can focus so much on all these people or old documents, or somebody sent me a professionally made YouTube video. The guy don't even have an accent like you. They're not even from your region. Why the hell would you listen to him? Let alone somebody who's a first round immigrant from another country telling you about your laws with no legal degree. Oh boy, that's somebody I'm going to listen to. No, I don't think so. I come with the reality, with real world experts. And a lot of my followers, I've met with them. They've seen my screenshot Zooms. I don't publish because I don't want to upset schools like Oxford, the Faculty of Law, Cambridge, Faculty of Law, Chicago, Illinois, Faculty of Law, Texas, Faculty of Law, India, Faculty of Law. I could literally go through another 87 nations, many even from Africa. Unbelievable works, unbelievable works. And you know what? I'd never give that up for anything because I want to see this narrative go forward. Those who know me well know it's true. Some of you will see sometimes these academics come forward. You'll see them say hello or pop in and people wonder, whoa, what's that guy doing here? Well, I get to work, I get busy, and I do what I say I'm going to do. People can accuse me a lot of things, but you'll never get me for being lazy or that I don't care about all Canadians. I'm no racist, pervert, radical, none of it. I never have been. I'm just a guy who does a lot of work to get to the truth. And I don't screw up very often, or if I do, it's outside of the realm of control. But I put in the time, I put in the energy. That's what you get. Share this out. You want to educate people, get out to these groups and say, hey, this guy says this. And again, I say, bring me your experts. You have none. I can just slap down the books, the writings, the teachings. I'm going to be having the experts in the town halls, not any of these people, because they don't know what the hell they're talking about. Sorry, everybody. It's pathetic. It's terrible narratives. It's someone reaching into a big ball of marbles and pulling out a red one when there's 5 different colors, but I mean, it's 1 in 5. Going, oh, look, I got one of the red marbles. Well, there's still another 650 in the jar, buddy. It's not a miracle. Why don't you go through the whole jar and get back to me? Oh, I don't have time for that. I found this little one. This is all I need. Look, red, red. All marbles are red. They all look like this, same size. No, they don't. That's not how it works. That's what I'm trying to relate today. Whether people like it or hate it, I will never take any of these people forward with me. If this is stuff you've kind of been groomed into, get out of it, because it's absolutely bullshit. At the end of the day, it's a total farce, a joke, an absolute embarrassment to absolutely lead all of you away from real constitutionalism. Learn comparative law, learn international law, learn natural law. There are many, many legal laws throughout this world. There's about 5 of them that nations play with. You get into civil law, not the same as civil rights. You get into the common law. You get into all kinds of stuff that you guys really, there's massive volumes to read, massive volumes. You're not going to get it from a YouTube video from someone preaching Magna Carta that was for one nation at one time in history that is long since gone. And that nation doesn't exist the same way anymore. But even still, why would you apply it to your nation? It has absolutely nothing to do with your constitution. 3 articles, again, that's all that's there for Canada. 3 articles, and they're very limited. Changed wording, all of it. This is why judges make fun of Canadians who come forward with this. This is why you're called a radical, and they're getting real tired of it. And you know what? They have the full power of the law in the real constitution we have, whether you all like it or not, to do something about it when people start trying to enact laws from some constitution that was never bound to any of you. That's like me saying, no, the Constitution of Mexico, that applies to me. I'm not listening to Canada's Constitution. Well, guess what? I'm going to be in a padded cell, and I'm probably going to get charged for all kinds of crimes that may be not illegal in Mexico, but will absolutely be illegal here. People, get real. Get off the fake narratives. Sorry, that's it. Don't mean to be mean, but share it out. Get it educated. Get it out to all these groups. Let them whine and cry. They don't know what they're talking about. Sorry to disappoint you. But again, whenever you see this stuff, people, say, who are your experts? What legal professionals in any field, anywhere in the world, will come forward to back up what you claim? Further, provide me with articles, with legal experts who absolutely support your claims. And guess what? Bam! Big goose egg. Russia ain't talking to them, they're talking to me. USA ain't talking to them, they're talking to me. All these universities all over the world aren't talking to them, they're talking to me. I keep getting back invited to events. Does it mean everybody agrees with what I'm doing? No. But at least they know I read, I study, I read all their stuff, and I get back to them in absolutely what they've dealt with, what they've worked with, what they've built and designed, or how they've shown this out to all of you. What they teach all the lawyers all around the world in different countries with absolutely different constitutions. Magna Carta, a constitution very much different than all the rest in the world today, and is left a long time ago retired in history. Bye. That's it, guys. Thanks. Get it shared out. Do the right thing. Educate, educate, educate.